Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to F1 TS Hub. We're here tonight for the Pinnacle tier, round 3 of season 11 from Canada. And joining me this evening in the commentary box, once again, is Jamie.
Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Yeah, so exciting race in prospect. This one has always delivered pretty fantastic races during its history at F1 TS Hub. And I don't expect this one to be any different at all. The skies are blue ahead of us at the moment for qualifying, as the drivers head out on circuit to set about attempting their first flying laps.
Ideal conditions for this qualifying session, and we should see that the quick guys give it their all. But you've got to be careful around here. The track limits are unforgiving, and I won't be surprised if there's few invalid lap times.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you there. We're running strict corner cutting settings tonight, so the drivers have got to keep it tidy. And as you mentioned, wall-lined circuit here, so no margin for error. We've already seen in the opening round of the season, drivers bin it on their first attempt at setting a flying lap. So yeah, I think a good idea tonight is to get a banker lap in here and build up the speed from there.
Yeah, that's why I always used to do in these sessions with strict corner cutting. Obviously, if you get a banker in, you can push more in your final lap and just give it your all. But if you go in there with no lap time, you're sort of under pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first drivers are starting their flying lap at any moment now, and short lap here, of course, only 2.7 miles, I think it is. So one of the shorter tracks on the calendar, and a high-speed one at that. So expect the lap times to be very, very close throughout the field, and a couple of tenths could easily make the difference between being towards the front of the grid and outside the top 10.
Yeah, definitely. And we got the three sets of tyres here, so maximum tyre grip, but also maximum tyre wear.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Bothy Dweller and Gaza on the super softs at the moment, but all the other runners, as you mentioned, Jamie, on the ultra softs. So all out attack from these drivers. So it'd be interesting to see who can deliver. Obviously, Ali Diaz with 2 wins on the bounce coming into this race. So yeah, his rivals, the Bookster obviously, is had a good start to the season as well himself. Yeah. And LMC Warner, who I'm currently on board with in the McLaren, also looks good, but of course the double DNF for the McLarens at Silverstone has put an early dent into his championship challenge.
It wasn't ideal, especially in the championship, which looks like a 3-4 horse race. Any DNFs in a short season so costly, and Warner's already 32 points behind, and that's a long way.
Yeah, it already feels like perhaps a long way back for him, but he does cross the line, set the current fastest lap, 1:10.3 I think it was by the look of it. So 10th up on Matty Daddy at the moment, as we got a spinner in sector 1, I believe that's a Force India.
Yep, as Ali Diaz goes on pole. And yeah, I think it was Lawrence, he's just recovering from a spin.
Okay, so yeah, Lawrence recovers. Looks like his car is in one piece from what I can see, and we've got another yellow flag in sector 2 now. Yeah. That one's cleared quite quickly by the look of it.
Yeah, I think a few guys are just trying to find the limits in this track. It's quite a difficult track for traction. I did a bit of a run before, and coming up to change, you do get a bit of wheel spin even on like medium traction control. So always Lemay spun it as well. He's lost his wing as well. Oh, shame for him. So yeah, not an ideal start. As you mentioned, traction is absolutely crucial, especially at the hairpin, obviously onto that long back straight. So much time to be gained and lost there just by nailing the exit of that corner. Samster's put it in second place. He's desperately hoping for a good race this week, because he's had 2 really messy races, especially last week crashing the final lap, which brought some amusement, but I know he really likes this track, and it's a sort of home track for him, so hopefully he can get the podium this week. Yeah,
he's shown good pace as Sam, and he was definitely unfortunate. And you know, continue his strong pace that he's had early on. And yeah, I'm on board with the Ferrari driver now of Bothy Dweller, who got a nice little slipstream there actually down the back straight from his teammate. So it'll be interesting to see if what he manages on the super soft tyre as well at the moment.
He's very late using DRS there.
He was very, very late.
Maybe he validated the lap there, but no.
Yeah, perhaps so. I'm not sure whether he's going to stick with that super soft or whether he's just, getting his eye on that tyre before he switches over to the ultras.
He's out top 10 anyway, so it won't make a difference. So I'd expect all drivers to qualify on the ultra softs in the end. I think if it's a dry race, it's a pretty simple one stop. So you want to be as high up the grid as possible. His track position around here it's not as important as some tracks, but you only get involved instance in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, I think in qualifying the ultra soft obviously is the way to go. I think in the race, going off the practice race that some of the drivers took part in yesterday, the ultra soft is, it's pretty durable itself, relatively speaking, but the super soft and even the soft are good race tyres, and can go on and on with relatively little drop off in pace. So yeah, we imagine a lot of motor drivers, as you mentioned, starting the ultras and then switch from there.
And we welcome our new rookie driver this week, the Renault, who's replaced Tejuai, who's dropped down to the podium tier. It'd be interesting to see how. I'm always intrigued to see how a new driver gets on, see what their pace level's like. So that'd be a good thing to watch.
Yeah, it'll be a learning experience for him, I'm sure, tonight. But yeah, hopefully he can have a good race, keep out of trouble, and pick up a good result for his first time out here at from TSM.
Yeah. Look at the gap between 7th and 11th and 12th. That is just over 2 tenths. So it shows you how important it is to get a clean lap around here and hook every corner. If you make a mistake, you could lose several rows on the grid.
Yeah, definitely. As we said, it can be the difference between literally starting, in the top few to starting towards the back of the field in just a few tenths. So you absolutely have to nail it. Expect, as the drivers, most of them in the pits now, as they go out their final runs, to see a few errors, as the drivers will have to push the limits now if they want to, improve and get the best possible grid spot they can for the race.
As Nick makes it even more tighter in there as he goes 8th on a 1:11.431.
Wow, so yeah, it's really, really close end midfield, and Bobby Dweller obviously currently in the pits at the moment on that super soft. He's switched to the ultra soft, the game is telling me, so he will be out, as you mentioned, Jamie, on the ultra soft by the look of it for a second run.
As Lawrence is starting a lap, he's obviously a bit out of kilter because I think he invalidated his first lap, so he's wanting to get a lap in while the track's quiet.
Yeah, he's doing something a little bit different there with the strategy, and it can be tricky here as well to get clear air, as you mentioned, with it being such a short lap, easy to get traffic. So yeah, getting a clean run is important.
He's approaching the end of the second sector now, approaching that infamous hairpin. We've seen a few dive bombs there in the past. It's not really an overtaking opportunity, but a few drivers like to try it.
Yeah, sometimes, especially when the tyres are worn, they can get bad exits from the hairpin, from the chicane beforehand, and you can get a run on the driver coming into that hairpin, and it can be hard to resist going for the move if the opportunity presents itself. But as we mentioned, we've also seen it go wrong several times. Yeah,
obviously approaching this infamous final chicane, we've seen a few controversial moves there last season, and also we've seen a few drivers clout that barrier.
Definitely, probably number one overtaking position on the track, but also really risky as well in itself, which is why I think we have seen so many incidents here in the past. You do need the driver you're overtaking to be a bit sort of understanding, and especially if they're on the outside, you need them to, somebody's got to back off basically and let the other one go through. Otherwise, if both decide to go for it, well, anything can happen.
That plan's worked for Lawrence. He's got third with 1:10.7, so it's a decent lap by him. He had a decent race last week as well, I believe.
Yeah, he did indeed, and yeah, he's put it into a good position at the moment as Sam in the Mercedes goes on to his another hot lap. So what can he do?
Stifler gets a grid penalty for collision.
Oh, 0 place grid penalty as well.
That'll be five. As Sam loses it a bit coming out the chicane, that's not the ideal line out there.
Yeah, definitely. We mentioned traction, and he was definitely struggling for it a little bit there. So crucial now to take as much curve as you can, but without breaking the track limits. And again, he looks to struggle there, I think, and lifted
he's validated his lap. I think he's got 1.35 laps of fuel, so he's desperate trying to save fuel, I think. And
as he makes way for cars to come behind him, by the look of it, using his mirrors there.
There's Fowler going by, yeah, so that's how the pressure can tell like that. If you push that a little bit too far, the track limits are very unforgiving around here, and I expect a lot of time penalties in the race as well.
Yeah, I think we will see a lot. But as we mentioned, Sam did what we said, and he got his banker lap in, didn't he? And so he was able to push the limits on that lap, knowing that he you know, he could afford to do that. And he's actually entered the pits as well, Sam. So that's the end of the session.
So, yeah, he's not going to get back out by the time he'll be all in and stuff.
And Ali Diaz as well didn't return to the circuit by the look of it.
No, he must be very confident. And Lawrence got Wummer out on the warm-up lap, I believe, and Matt, Kev, Bugster. Kev desperately needs a good race this week. He's not had a good start this season, I've noticed.
Yeah, Kev has had all sorts of bad luck. I think anything that could go wrong has gone wrong for him so far. So yeah, 6th at the moment, and yeah, he'll be desperate for a better result this time out. And I mentioned Ali Diaz is actually on circuit. He's in the final sector now of his lap, so he will have a chance.
Yeah, graphic over the game. Yeah, so on board with Wummer coming to the end of sector 1. He got pole in Austria first race of the season. Last week wasn't ideal for him, but he's up on his time, so maybe he can sneak on the front row this lap.
Yeah, we'll have to keep a keen eye on him and the booster as they're on their final attempts here. Can they move up? They need to get as close to that front of the field as they can. I know they were both in the talk show last week, I believe, and mentioned they thought they could take the fight to Ali Diaz. So yeah, that all starts by getting it as near to the front as you can.
That comes up down the DRS straight, and so seeing a few drivers were tiring up. See they've either binned it or just invalidated their laps. As Sam, Lawrence and Nick are all done for the day.
So Wommet takes that final chicane.
Oh,
a little bit scrappy as it. Oh, that was
distracted by Force India there, definitely. He's improved his time, but
distracted him.
I think he lost the front row there by that. As Matt improves, but his time is invalidated, so that won't count. As we're on board with Kev coming through the final chicane now. He's in a decent 6th place at the moment. Can he improve? No, yes, he can. He moves up to 5th. That's very happy with that lap. I'm very happy with that lap.
So we've got the Bugster now as well entering the final chicane. So what can he do? Can he improve from provisional 7th? Can he get into the 1 minute 10s?
Yeah, he moves to 3rd place. Ball's improved in the end there, and there's only Ollie left. So that's our grid.
It is indeed. We'll have a rundown for you in a few moments. But yeah, an exciting session there, and you know, only a few tenths separating each of the drivers from the from the car in front and behind them. So super close there. I can see between 13th and 14th between King Don Martin and Matty Daddy. There's literally just a hair's breadth between those two, and between Nick and D90 there as well. Yeah, just yeah, I think all the drivers will always think you always know you left a bit of time on the table, and doing that here, you know, could have easily cost them a few positions.
I think D90 would be happy to be 11th because obviously you get the free choice of tyres now, so you'll have a bit more strategical advantage if it's a dry race, of course.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that, and I am being told that there is rain predicted for the second part of the race. So right, it's a dry start, but it is going to rain, I believe. So yeah, strategy could be absolutely crucial, and we could see those outside the top 10 well going for the super soft tyre.
Yeah, I remember last season in China, I was at the back of the grid in the Pinnacle tier, and I saw the weather forecast, thought it was rain halfway through, so I took a set of mediums on, and I was in about 5th place because everyone else had to pit and people gambled on the inters. It was way too early, and I was in 5th place. And the rain fell at the right lap. I was about to pit, and then I binned it in the pit wall.
You did a Jamie special there in the pit wall, but yeah, until then the rain worked in your favour.
Yeah, well, I've got at least I overtook MLA legitimately, so that's my claim to fame. That race.
Yeah, the rain. There's lots to lose, lots to gain in the rain. I guess the person who wants the rain the least is probably Ali Diaz there, as he's on pole position. You know, it can only cause him difficulties more than a gain. But for everyone else, you know, you can always take advantage.
Yeah, he got pulled there by 3 tenths, but it's quite a big margin over Samu. I think that's his best qualifying result in F1 tiers as well, Sam. So maybe he'll have half a chance. He's always, I've always seen he's quite a good starter, so maybe he might be leading in turn 1.
Yeah, who knows? We know, you know, last week Sam was, you know, high up the grid, and he managed to lose the car or got hit or whatever in the first couple of corners, and his race went down the pan from there. So you know, he'll be looking to keep it clean through those initial turns 1 and 2, the centre S section where we see so many incidents at the start of the race. So he'll be looking to keep it clean. So you run down, Ali Diaz on pole, Sam second, the Bookster third, Lawrence fourth, LMC Wummer fifth, Kev sixth, Matt F&G 7th, Stifler 8th, Cloudy Blues 9th, Nick 10th, D90 11th, Ollie 12th, King Don Martin 13th, and then we've got Matty Daddy, Chopper, Botti Dweller, Lamine and Gaza bringing up the rear of the field there by the look of it.
Stifler with his 5-place grid penalty, will be down to 13th off the grid, so, and on the worn tyres as well, so that's not worked out for him. It'd be interesting to see how he black grid penalty.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how he picked that up.
He's due the formation lap. Do you not mind running through the drivers and constructors standings after 2 races?
Yeah, I will do. So after 2 races, the constructors, we'll go on the drivers' championship because that's the most important one, I guess. And Ali Diaz on in the lead on 50 points. The Bookster on his brilliant podium run of results, as we know, is in second on 36 points. Matt F&G is in third in the Mercedes on 27 points. You've got Ollie in fourth on 22 points, and LMC Wummer currently in fifth on 15 points. So there'll be a few drivers, and then we obviously come down from there. But yeah, there'll be a few drivers who there's still a lot to play for. Obviously, we're only 2 rounds in. Ali Diaz looking strong, but behind that, it's very close. So still lots to play for still.
Races left, so there's still plenty of time to recover from bad start and what have you.
Yeah, definitely.
There's the formation lap.
So yeah, go off on the formation lap, and blue sky still at the moment. So you know, if there is rain to come, which we're told there is, you know, it certainly looks like it's going to be at least a little way into the race. Yeah,
as the tyre selection, D90 was the first driver to get a free choice. He started on ultras. You've got Ollie and Kingdom Martin on the supers. Stifler 13th, but he's on his use ultras with his grid penalty, and then Matty Daddy, Chopper, Drella, Lamine and Gaza, they're on the soft tyre. So maybe with this rain, maybe they're hoping that we'll have to pit till the rain comes.
Yeah, that will be their big hope, of course. If they can take those softs until the rain, that will be their plan. Then they can gain a pit stop, hopefully, on the cars ahead of them. We've got the drivers in 11th and 12th there who've taken the sort of middle ground and gone with the super soft. And obviously the top 10 are committed to their ultra soft tyres, so you know they will almost certainly have to pit, you would think, before the rain comes.
Stifler and Matty Daddy obviously got involved in a tangle on the formation lap, but they'll be ready. They're not out the race. That just means they disqualified for the formation lap.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be waiting on the grid for the pack to come round.
It's quite a short lap, so they won't wait that long.
Yeah, already coming down the straight there now.
Yeah, so Ali Diaz, he'd be hoping for a clean range so he can get 3 out of 3, and that would be the perfect start this season for the Williams driver, who Williams are looking for their 5th drivers champion, and they've got a really good chance this season. Yeah,
definitely. It's all going well for him so far, but you know, it could easily all come unstuck here as the drivers roll up to the grid now, and race start only a few moments away. So all to play for all these drivers.
Yeah, it's a very tight, narrow first 2 corners, so I won't be surprised if a few wings go missing.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit of a daunting one, isn't it? Proper narrow circuit, and often squeezes you together between turns 1 and 2. So the lights are on the screen now. We've got 1 light, 2 light, 3, 4 and 5. And it felt like a long hold, but the drivers are away, and it's go, go, go down to turn 1. So Ali Diaz defends to that right-hand side. I don't think the Sam will be able to do much about that by following him round. So will there be chaos behind?
Toro Rosso
looks really good so far.
It's clean start at the front anyway, front 3 away well, there's no changes until about 6th place. Kev lost a few places off the line, as well as Cloudy. So his grid penalty isn't affecting too much at the moment.
Yeah, and that was a really clean start for almost all the drivers, I think. Really good driving from the field there.
Yeah, it's good to see. If rain is coming, then they won't want to pit early, because that'll be a huge strategical disadvantage.
Yeah, they want to take the tyres as long as they can, I guess. So looking after the tyres will be important. And you know, will Sam in that Mercedes be able to tuck into the slipstream and you know, be towed along by Ali Diaz there?
Oh, his chopper's gone off. Hairpin.
Oh, there's chopper falls to the back of the field then. he mentioned he'd like a clean race, no doubt first time out, but yeah, bit of early damage for him there as well, by the way, on the left side of the wing.
Yeah, he has, and it's not ideal. He's going to have to pit, and there's Boffy Dweller's in already, so he's not a good start for the race either.
Yeah, he's minus the front wing, so yeah, Chopper's decided to try and continue with that wing damage, but I think he may well find that he has to pit if he loses too much lap time.
Yeah. I'm just going to have to go for a minute or so I'll be back shortly.
No problem, no problem.
Alright, just take it away.
So Ali Diaz leads by 6/10 of a second at the moment, so it's all pretty equal throughout the field at the moment. The gainer is Stifler, who's up 3 positions obviously into 10th. Matty Daddy up a couple of positions as well into 12th. The big loser is D90 at that start, who drops down to 14th and 4 positions. So yeah, can Sam hang on to the back of Ali Diaz? He is doing so at the moment. Slipstream effect pretty powerful around here. So he may well be able to use that to his advantage, perhaps save a bit of fuel compared with the Williams driver in the lead, which could, you know, pay dividends for him later in the race, although of course the rain could neutralise that effect. So we may well see the drivers actually trying to burn more fuel than usual in this first stint, so that they're, you know, they're not so heavy with fuel when and if the rain does come later. And Sam looks strong for his centre left. He's actually closed up very slightly there.
I'm back, yeah, Sam. So very impressive first.
Yeah, he's managing to keep with the Williams driver well at the moment. I was mentioning when you were away, Jamie, that he could be using this point just to, just to save fuel and save tyres, and maybe be in a strong position, later in the stint.
It was both the Salvos pit this time. That's not ideal. D90's lost a lot of time there with the stacking.
Yeah, that was not good from the cyber drivers, and King Don Martin is rejoined right behind the Ferrari of Boffy Dweller and gets on the grass as well at the same time, so he's having a bit of a messy start to the race and almost hitting the wall again.
Yeah, on this game you've got grass on your tyres, you lose half a lap, you have no grip, so if I was him I'd stick it in lane half a lap and wait for your tyres to get back fully gripped.
Yeah, definitely. I think you've got to back off a little bit. I mean, it was hard to do in the heat of the race, but you've got to just ease off a little bit and let the tyres recover. As LMC Womo going side by side with the Boogster, and I think he's got that job done as they go into turn 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Womo was getting help with their Boogster, so that was a crucial move for his race.
Yeah, definitely, and he will now be on a charge to try and close down Sam, who has now dropped another few tenths back from the leader, so he's now getting towards being out of DRS, so we'll see whether we can hang in there. Yeah. But pretty close throughout the field at the moment.
I think Ali Diaz had a bit of a moment coming out that first chicane. Sam's managed to close a bit, so he's still in DRS, as Lawrence gets a penalty already.
Yeah, he is the first, perhaps the first of many, but yeah, he's certainly the first in this race to pick up a time penalty there.
Matt.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. Matt is closing onto the back of the Boogster as well. So is the Boogster struggling for pace slightly, or is it just going to balance out and Matt perhaps just benefit from the two going side by side last time round? But he has got himself into DRS in the sister Mercedes, and him and Sam look like they could be a good pair in this season, from a constructor's point of view.
Title, Matt, very good to see, but I think Matt will be hoping Sam pulls his weight a bit. He's got penalty already, which...
Oh dear.
Tight battle like this is going to look it. It's not ideal.
Yeah, and Sam's skimming the wall there as well, so he's definitely pushing the limits to stick with these guys.
Minus fuel as well, so he might have the fuel save as well, so he's took a gamble on his fuel. Mighty Daddy's doing well. Well, Matty Daddy and Ollie have collided. I think Stifler got involved as well. They've all got damage.
Ollie and...
Although Matty Daddy and Ollie don't got Stifler, so he'd probably have to pit. And this track, sort of half this wing damage, but you still lose time in the middle sector.
Yeah, you definitely lose time, and it's quite a short pit lane here as well. The time loss compared with other circuits is not too bad. Obviously not great for your race, but it's not as bad as some.
Wummers hit the wall and he's lost his front left end plate, front right wing.
Yeah, he has.
Element. So as Matt's gone move around Buxton, he makes it stick. That's impressive. He caught Buxton a bit off guard there.
Yeah, fantastic from Matt. We mentioned, did he have more pace than the Booster? And he's obviously, he's made his way through. So Mercedes in 2 and 4 at the moment. So great start to the race for both of those two.
Yeah. It's good to see Sam having a decent move at the moment. Obviously, I'm his former teammate, and I always hope for the best for him. But it's good to see.
Yeah, definitely. And can the Booster now hang on to the back of these? And is he just struggling for pace slightly compared with the drivers ahead of him, or is he perhaps, looking after the tyres and trying to get further than the drivers in front towards the rain? But there's no sign of even of the rain being anywhere near soon. So I think all these ultra-soft runners have just got to push hard and and pit when they schedule to do so.
There's no point hanging out the rain because you just lose so much time. By 3 or 4 laps, you've lost your pits. So I'm going to get another penalty. So he needs to be careful.
Yeah.
He needs to be careful because he can get disqualified in this game if he cut the track too much. 2 penalties after lap 6. It's not ideal.
That's not ideal at all. And he picked up that second one within a lap, also I think it was on the first one. So yeah, I mentioned he's in 2nd position at the moment, but he's got to keep those penalties under control.
I don't believe Ali Diaz has a penalty yet, so he's got a net 7-second lead at the moment. Yeah,
he has. And how is Womack getting on as well with that damage to the front wing? I think he also had damage, didn't he, in Austria? I think he
did quite well with
his race.
Yeah, but it's not ideal. He's 4 seconds behind Sam, so I think he's trying to hold out for some sort of pit window, which will be the next couple of laps with these ultra soft. So he might have to take an early pit stop.
The drivers will be looking to go at least a few more laps yet, but as you mentioned with the damage, perhaps cut the stint short and get on a fresh set and a new wing. Sam is now falling back slightly as well from the Williams there, so now he's dropped out of DRS. He's losing a couple of tenths a lap by the look of it.
Yeah, Ali Diaz has put in rich revs, so I think he's trying to build a bit of a gap, trying to get out DRS, and which has been pretty successful so far. As Buxter and Matt are still together, so Buxter's managed to hang on. Maybe he's keeping his tyres in better state than Matt.
Yeah, he's sticking right on the gearbox, isn't he? Which is, there's a long way to go in this race yet. So just keeping with the pack in front of him. I mean, we know Sam's got 2 penalties, and we know that Womack's got wing damage. So the Buxter, although he's in 5th, he might not know it, but he's actually looking pretty good compared with the drivers around him. And sorry, Jamie. Yeah, Kev as well. I was just going to mention is lining up Lawrence at the moment. He mentioned he needs some good luck, so he's had a decent start to the race. I shouldn't even mention that and commentate occurs him, but he's currently in 7th and looking at the back of the Force India. So he's looking to the left and to the hairpin, but yeah, Lawrence moves across, and it's so easy to lose your front wing in that situation.
Yeah, if I was back Kev's situation, I'd take a wide line in that. Get a tight exit and then down the straight. DRS should be pretty. Well, he's not getting that much. He's going to go. In one's your best you want to take. Kane, you're aligning your passing to give you a lot of respect.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as you mentioned, if Kev had compromised the entry to that hairpin there and got a better exit, he would have been alongside Lawrence as Lawrence boosted the rear.
Yeah, he's struggling a bit of traction. I think his tyres might be going off. That's a classic sign. Oh, as Lawrence hit the wall and he's got wing damage. I think his rear tyres are overheated. He's just struggling for traction and.
Yeah, he looks like a pit stop is imminent, particularly with the wing damage. As I think we've got a couple of drivers who have gone into the pits. Nick is one of them.
Nick as well, yeah. What tyres they gone on?
Yeah, we've got Nick on the super softs. And
Cardi on the super soft.
And Cardi as well. So they'll be hoping, I guess, to take those a fair way into the race now.
Ollie, Matty, Daddy, Gazman are all very close to 10th place.
Oh, we've got a yellow cell.
Stiflers,
Stiflers retired from the session.
What's he done? He's binned it. Is that coming out of pit exit? I think it is.
I think it
Oh,
is.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's turn 2. Yeah. Has he binned it there?
He's on the outside of turn 2, and only 3 wheels on his wagon, so all over for the Ferrari driver.
Yeah, that's not an unusual place to bin it. I don't know how he's done that.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure, and it's also pretty close between
Gazman and Ken.
Yeah, they're the 2 drivers I was just going to mention, so they're very close on track at the moment.
Yeah, you say Gaza. I think he's a driver that's stronger in the race than qualifying. He's a driver that keeps it clean. He's always first 2 races. He's got really strong points finishes, so he might hunt for the raid and try and keep it on the track. Yeah,
he seems to have good consistent race pace this season. Obviously wouldn't have been too happy with his qualifying here, I'm sure. I think we mentioned I think he was on the back of the grid, wasn't he? But yeah, he's made his way currently to 11th on those soft tyres as well, so he'll be going on those for a fair bit longer yet, I think.
Yeah, Zali Diaz now got a 3-second lead over Sam, so he's building the gap. I think he was building a gap for the pit stop as he pits now, as Sam does as well. But Sam gets a drive through the stop goal penalty for speeding the pit lane, so it goes from bad to worse in the penalty.
Dear. Yeah, the penalties are racking up for him. So yeah, if we get the tyres up on screen, Jamie, as well, so we can
soft.
Have a look.
Ali Diaz and ultras, so maybe Ali Diaz come early and Sam is hopeful to come a bit later as Lawrence goes on the supers and changes his wing.
Yeah, and
oh, he's gone back to ultras now. Okay.
So Wobber, who we thought might pit early because of the wing damage, has actually gone on longer than all the drivers around him.
You have to say he's done quite well. Matt and Bugster behind. He's pretty sure they seems to do it as well. He's had this healthy car. Maybe he'd been with the 2 lead.
Yeah, definitely. I think he could, challenge if he had a healthy car. He seems pretty good at managing the wing damage. So yeah, will he pit this lap? We'll see shortly. Him, Matt and the Booster are obviously still out. Will they all pit this lap?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because Sam and Ali Diaz are getting a huge undercut as Wummer pits, Matt stays out though, and Bugster stays out. So Wummer he gets drive through penalty as well, stop goal penalties. So this pit entry is very difficult, but they're not giving themselves enough leeway.
Yeah, it's probably the trickiest of the season in terms of getting down to the to the speed limit on that back straight. You just flying in there and trying to judge your braking point is tricky. So where will the McLaren driver rejoin? It looks like he's going to be in 8th.
Oh, you do cook this pit exit, so yeah, he's in 8th place. He's right in the back of the main, who he might get him into the hairpin with his fresh tyres, and he does.
Yeah, he made easy work of that, didn't he? And next up he'll have Chopper, who's on those soft tyres. So you'd imagine, in theory, on those ultra softs, he should be able to get by him pretty quickly as well and carry on his charge.
Yeah, he'd be on one soft start, so I believe he started on that set. You have to say, fair play to Kev. He's having a good race of it. As I go on board with him into the commentators curse there, sorry Kev, but still he's having a strong race. He's not having any wing damage, and Zali Diaz passes him. He's got a huge undercut on Matt and Bugster, so that's worked out really well for him.
Yeah, it has. Has has he fallen down in position there?
No, he's come out ahead.
Oh,
no,
it's just
because
Red
Bull garage is further down, As Kev pits on the same lap as his teammate, so I wonder if he got delayed pit stop there.
We've got an interesting strategy going on at the front. We're currently the top 3 all on different tyres, and Ali Diaz has gone for another set of the ultra softs. So he's going to be super quick now. It's Sam choosing to take the soft, and I presume just to go as far as he can until any rain that may come appears.
As Matt has over Wummer, obviously with Wummer changing his wings, so 2 mistakes are in podium places now.
And a really interesting tyre strategies between all the field, a real mix.
Yeah, obviously it's dependent on the rain, when the rain will fall, but if it falls quite quickly, after Ali Diaz and Wummer, they're in the pound seat here.
Yeah, everyone's going to be, hoping and praying for different things from here on in. Obviously, Ali Diaz and co will be hoping for rain, pretty soon. Sam will be banking on the rain being a fair way away yet. That will be his big chance if he wants to have a chance of winning this race.
To have Triple Main and Matty Daddy both started in soft tyres, it's now the rain comes pretty quickly, so it's very intriguing the strategy around here today.
It is. It's starting to cloud over as well, but it doesn't look like rain is imminent, but it's definitely getting cloudy right now.
On this game, I've noticed that when it rains, it takes several laps to be into conditions. So I wouldn't be surprised to see people pit and gamble too early. The race will be ruined effectively because the safety car capability around here is minimal on this game.
Yeah, especially drivers who are pushing the tyres there onto the limits to try and get to the rain. They could be tempted to pit in, like you say, a little bit too early, but you just can't do it on this game. If you do it and get it wrong, you just have no grip at all and the race is ruined basically.
Kev's on the back of Matty Daddy here. I expect this to be pretty easy indeed on these fresh ultras.
Yeah, you have to break so much
because I think Matty Daddy, obviously because of the tyre delta, he got caught out there a little bit, I think, and
it's another point where it's really easy to lose your front wing when you're behind somebody on a slower tyre and you just get caught out with how early they have to brake because of the lack of grip they have. So Kev lining him up now. I'm not sure if he's going to be close enough. Is he going to look for it? No, he doesn't.
No, he's not.
He'll have DRS again now. He should get better traction out of the final chicane there. They both avoid the Wall of Champions, and Kev looks down to turn one. He goes for it. He's late on the brakes, and he's going to try and hold it. Matty Daddy on the inside. It will be like traction.
He should get, even around the outside, it's a bit of traction. He's got Lawrence to worry about, not Matty Daddy.
Yeah, so that's Kev up to 8th. He's got obviously the main now ahead of him. So looking good on those ultras at the moment.
He is.
And Womer closing in on Matt FNG as well. Yeah, obviously a bit of a tyre differential between those two drivers as well.
Yeah, starting to show his true pace now with a fixed wing.
Yeah, I bet his car feels pretty incredible to come out of that pit lane on a fresh set of ultra soft tyres and with a good front wing on the car again. Yeah. So I'm sure he'll be pushing hard now.
Ali Diaz leads to 4 seconds now, so Sam's doing this job on them soft tyres much time, so
yeah, Sam's doing a great job actually. I think the gap was pretty much that when they exited the pits.
Kev's lost it coming out the chicane. I think it's trying to move on the main. He's lost several places. He's got to repass Matty Daddy again, and Lawrence
he's got to do it all again
on the strategy, so not ideal for Red Bull driver.
At least the Red Bull driver's still got his front wing intact. That's the crucial thing out of that one.
When you spin there, it's a 1 in 10 chance you're coming out there without damage. So he did. So maybe a bit of good fortune on his side today.
Yeah, perhaps so. Womer's still looking. There's still there's close battles all throughout the field, and it looks like Lemaine and Lawrence have just swapped positions. So the Force India has made his way through past the Haas driver and into 7th.
Yeah, obviously Lemaine and Pizer started on we feel a bit very second-hand back now. As Womer's a slipstream of Matt, but it doesn't seem like he's near close enough. I think Matt's winning high straight line speed around here because he seems to get out the corners as Womer gets a time penalty. He's pushing the track limits a bit too much there.
Yeah, Womer not really getting anywhere near to making a move there on the quick sections of the circuit. And if he's got those ultra soft tyres on, he needs to really get the job done if he can before the super soft starts to become the quick tyre for him.
Another penalty which could prove costly. He's got 6-second gap, but if he keeps penalties, that could soon get eradicated.
Yeah, definitely. He's not doing well with the track limits today, Sam.
No. As Kev's all over the back of Matty Daddy again. He'd be hating the back of that Williams, his old team last year. He'd be hating the sight of that Williams diffuser. He won't get past this ASAP.
Yeah, he will. He should get a better exit again here and takes the wider line to open the steering, and then moves to the inside as they approach the Fly Emirates Bridge there. and he should have the position.
no,
But he was a bit
no.
tentative there, and Matty Daddy sweeps back around the outside.
If Lawrence takes traffic for 7th, so Lawrence is making a better job of his traffic than Kev is.
Yeah, Kev, I think, you know, with the bad luck he's had as well, he just doesn't want to get any damage. You could see with that move there, I thought he would just, you know, lift off the little brakes a little bit there and just, you know, hold the position on the inside.
Got a great
but he was just a little bit cautious.
Down the inside. All bit of contact. And the sab through turn 2, and Rummer sort of gets, he's going to go for it down the inside of turn 3 here, is he? No. Bit of contact out of turn 2 there. There was no holes barred there between these two. Desperate for this podium place.
Yeah, and he thought about it again, didn't he, as well, after that, as you mentioned, but he didn't go for it. But he's looking quick at the moment, is Womet, and but just struggling to find a way through at the moment.
He's getting held up at here. I think Matty Daddy and Kev have collided, and Kev's lost his way yet again. I wouldn't be surprised that's the stewards. Oh, I didn't see that, but I wouldn't be surprised that's the stewards.
Oh dear me, poor Kev, and he's got to go half a lap now with no wing.
Yeah, the 2 week last week, it looks like, you know, again.
Oh, we just mentioned that he was being cautious as well when we were watching on board with him, so obviously he's got, I presume he's gone for a move somewhere and it's gone horribly wrong.
Nick and Claudia fighting up the hairpin. Nick gets done the hairpin, Claudia gets the better exit. Interesting, he was the arrest here. Nick has the way. Should pull the way down this back straight, but it's got the outside line, so Claudia may fancy outbreaking.
Oh yeah, I think he's got fully past now though.
Yeah. As I think I saw a bit of rain there, so I think the rain's starting to fall.
Well, so how long do you think it usually is after rain starts falling before we'll see drivers moving to pit?
I reckon it's probably 3 or 4 laps. I reckon it's 3 or 4 laps.
Okay, so...
And this is bad news for Matty Daddy and Kev. They both have the pitch and nowhere near the crossover point yet, so...
No, absolutely. It could work out well for the ultra soft runners though, you know, like Ali Diaz in the lead there, you know, his tyres should get him to the crossover point from this point.
Yeah. But the ultras drivers have called this perfectly, because when the track's wet you get less tyre air as well, so...
Looks like Kev is fitting for the inters as well. I guess he thinks, well, why the hell not?
I don't think that's going to work out for him. It's nowhere near. Rainfall super quick.
I guess
he's already getting
at the back of the field.
Yeah, he's a lap down
he'd have
as
a
well.
go.
Got to be careful of Sam here. Just try not to get involved with him.
With it being a short pit lane, though, as you mentioned, you know, on this initial lap, he could easily just lose the complete pit stop time already.
Yeah, I'm on board with him now. With Buxton sprinters, so I'm quite surprised Buxton's pit sprinters. That's a brave call, I have to say, for the Red Bull driver. The Red Bull team, and Kev's losing loads of time, so I don't think it's going to work out for the Red Bull team. So Buxton's podium streak may end today.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you know, it's often, you know, some drivers might be tempted to go too early. It'll either be a masterstroke here from the Buxter, or it will cost him. It definitely looks really, really slippy on those inters, but it's raining quite hard now. It's only going to be a lap or 2 away, I think.
Matty Daddy's binned it in the Wall of Champions. It looks like... I think the lack of grip is starting to affect some drivers.
He's right in the middle of the circuit there as well, right where the normal racing line would be, so that's going to be distracting for the drivers, even though he's ghosting. It will be distracting for them.
Yes, King Don Martin's gained, is all the back of Buxton now, so I think he's called us 1 or 2 laps too early. It's going to be a pretty easy move with the superior traction.
Yeah, possibly so.
That FNG's pitting, he's going on the inters, so...
Okay, maybe it is approaching the time then, but yeah.
I think, looking at this, I think it might be the end of this lap, so maybe Matt FNG is just... Maybe his hope. As Sam's caught up to Ali Daz a lot on this lap, so...
Yeah, he has. He's half that gap.
Soft tyres work him up.
Yeah, both of those drivers continuing as well. So Matt F&G, the first of you know, the inter runners at the moment, in 6th position. So we'll keep an eye on his lap times.
Back of him,
yeah, it just seems a little too early still, as you
it's
mentioned.
just traction as Lemaine's he taps the back of that, but he gets away that unscathed, fortunately. He was still amazing. A good clean race. He didn't qualify that well, but he's kept his nose clean. He's got a chance of getting 6th place here off Matt.
And yeah, and seeing in chat somebody saying that the softs are actually better than the ultra softs in these sort of conditions, strangely, on this game.
Yeah,
so that might be why Sam is closing that gap up a little bit.
Yeah.
But the Boogster, as you mentioned, his podium streak is on the line here. He's dropping back currently still from King Don Martin there in the Cyber. And we got Nick in the wall at the hairpin as well. He has continued, but he's got damage on the front right.
Yeah.
So will he bail this lap?
I'd expect him to get him gamble. You might as well now. A lot of drivers are coming in for inters now, so maybe this is the crossover point. But just see, Wummer comes out ahead of Matt. Matt stays ahead, so maybe Matt did call it right.
Yeah, perhaps he did. He's up to speed as well, so he knows the grip level on these inters now. Everyone coming out in their first laps will be a little bit slower than the drivers already on the tyre because they're used to the conditions. And Sam has got that down to 1.7 now.
Disabled, so must be in now. The inters.
Yeah, I imagine the top 2 will be in this lap.
Sam's getting a lot. He's just a second behind now, so. Maybe he was hoping for it to stay dry. Maybe he was hoping for another lap, and then he could have overtaken him. But
yeah, he's been right on the gearbox.
Of course, Sam will have his 5 second stop goal penalty, so he'll be losing.
Ali Diaz gets one there as well when he enters the pit lane.
Yeah. I think the gap to Matt's safe though, so he should be. These two should be all right.
Yeah, so is this going to be a sign of things to come for Sam? Has he got great pace in the wet, or is it due to the to the tyre offset there between the two? We'll see.
Nick's binned it in between turns 4 and 5. Again, that's a difficult section for traction. Yeah, Sam's lost a lot of time with his pit stop there. Gap's 9 seconds now. So it's a huge amount of time. Maybe a bit of wind damage as well. That's a huge amount of time he's lost.
Did he have a stop?
Yeah, his car is stationary, but I switched over to watch Nick's crash. I didn't see the end of the pit stop. But 9 seconds, the gap was like 1 second, it's still at 9, so...
Yeah, he's lost a lot of time there. All that hard work he did has just been unwound there. So, Heidi Blues rejoining the circuit as well by the look of it. So the whole field on inters now by the look of it.
Martin's on for softs as well. He's holding only D90s on the softs, but he's struggling big time.
Yeah, I'm on board with him at the moment, and he is really struggling. He has definitely gone a lap too far.
Yeah. It's all yellow flags there, but continue as far. As Wummer's caught back and Matt again, so horseman the wet will things a lot more difficult with no DRS, so he's going to have to think of a place to make this move stick.
Yeah, he is. And Sam's already taken a little bit of time out of Ali Diaz by the look of it on his first lap.
Yeah.
And
I think his D90 goes on before wet, so well, I think that's the wrong call.
I think he could be struggling on those a little bit.
Mind you, the rain is quite heavy, so you never. Yeah. But I know on this game the full wets are pretty useless, unless it's that rain and steroids. So.
Yeah. And Chopper, the latest. Oh, is
Lemaine's
retired.
Looks like he's got damage. I'll just stayed in though, because it's a chance of a few points.
Yeah, it remains car currently in the pits as well, I think, receiving some intermediate tyres.
Yeah, Wummer is all over the back of Matt here. He seems much more confident in these conditions.
Yeah, he's closed Matt down quickly, isn't he, again, but can he make the move? We know he was struggling to do it in the dry conditions, so will he have more luck now?
Yeah, no DRS of course, so he has got around good old slipstream and out braking.
Old school F1 in the wet conditions here, yeah, no tricks up his sleeve other than driver skill.
Yeah, seems to be getting it a lot, but again, I don't think Snow take a spot on the wet because there's one line through here. Dark turn 1's a possibility, but he lost a bit of time coming out of that coming up behind the corner there, so he's not near enough.
Yeah, the Mercedes looks good in the traction zones at the moment, which is crucial in the wet. He can be as slow as he wants through the turns, but if he gets a good exit, as he does again there, then you know, Woma's going to struggle.
Track position's king in the wet. Just got to, just doesn't need to make a mistake or lock up or anything. That's the only concern.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Lawrence as well, because he's close behind the Bugster and looking pretty good as well.
I think his Bugster struck a bit today. I don't know why. I thought it'd be a bit closer in the front, but maybe it's not a good track for him.
Yeah, he's just missing maybe a tenth or two from what he'd ideally like, but he's still up there in 5th position and doing a decent job. We know he pitted early for those inters.
Yeah. Maybe he took a bit more out then because he went out when the track was a bit dry, so maybe he has not much tread left in his tyres, maybe that's why he's struggling. Maybe he's hoping for a bit more heavy rain to get 4 wets on.
Yeah, you never know. So we've got 2 battles on circuit at the moment now, you know, 2 big battles there between you know, Matt and Wommer and the Brugster and Lawrence. So, you know, big points positions up for grabs.
Yeah, exactly. As Wommer seems to have a great exit at the last corner. Is he going to try a dive into turn 1? He thinks about it. Does he make it stick? No, he thinks better of it.
Yeah, he's being quite patient at the moment, but I think, you know, looking at it, he's going to have to go for one of those sort of half chances towards the end of the race.
Because with Sam's penalty situation, second place is very much on here, so, but he doesn't want to get held behind too much longer.
Yeah, he's you know, still plenty of time left yet in these conditions, so he'll wait an opportunity, I imagine. You know, some drivers I think would have even gone for that there and just you know, had a go, but he thought better of it and played it safe.
Yeah, I've noticed it. I think Wommer's quite a successful driver, but there's still 12 laps left, so there's still plenty of time to get this move done. But he's stuck behind him with a few laps to go. I think that's when the desperation might strike, as Kingdom might get a 10-second penalty if he can't win. I don't know how he do that. I think he's retired for it. Yeah, I think he's had enough for all them penalties. Wommer, again, he's in the slipstream, but he doesn't seem to gain that much.
Yeah, he doesn't gain quite enough.
I think he needs to back off a bit coming out the chicane and just nail the exit as he gets a penalty there, and he hasn't got a great exit either, so Matt survives from another lap.
Yeah, Matt's been strong at the moment where he needs to be, and frustrating perhaps the McLaren driver a little bit at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Matt sort of was a bit slow coming out the corner, but I think he got away unscathed.
So Kev, after his troubles, is in 11th at the moment, so, you know, he needs to keep on fighting there, because any trouble ahead and he could pick up some points.
Once hit the wall and he's got wing damage, so fine now, so I think Matt might be safe now.
I think Wommer seems to like driving with wing damage. He seems to pick it up quite often at the moment.
Yeah, and of course Kingdom Martin's retirement promotes Gazmin the points again, so Gazmin might be on his 3rd consecutive points finish, which is very impressive.
Yeah, he's having a decent race. It looks like it's been a pretty quiet one. There's nobody in front of him on circuit, so he's just pushing on.
Hairpin. Can you get this? Can you make this move stick with the traction and the banging wheels coming out the hairpin? Side by side, who's got the better straight line speed here? Wommer's got the inside line. Good. He gets his brake. Matt outbrakes from the outside. He's cut the corner a bit there, so how are you going to call that? Yeah.
He completely cut. I think, you know, Wommer was super early on the brakes and was pretty much letting him have the position, but still Matt completely cut the second part of the chicane there, but maybe he was just playing it safe and wanted to give as much space as he possibly could to the McLaren driver.
Matt got another penalty for that, so maybe. But would you consider that gaining advantage though? That's very interesting call.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd have had the position. Wommer picks up another penalty as well.
Yeah, D90's been up the 4 wets, so I'm guessing they weren't the right tyres.
Yeah, you mentioned that was probably not the way to go, and so it's proved.
Yeah, but Wommer just seems quicker on all the long parts of the track. It's very frustrating. I've had this many a time in the league race. You're quicker through all the twisty of it. As soon as you get that straight, you can't get the traction or the straight line speed.
can just see the understeer he's got now with that wing damage again as well. In the wet, it's even worse for him, no doubt. And I think he's just got to try and just hang on to the back of the map now and just hope he can be towed along in this fourth position.
Because Lawrence is all over Buxter, so again, it's a similar situation here between these two drivers.
Yeah, several laps now, Lawrence has been just following the Buxter, but you know, you just can't get a good enough exit. You can't get the traction to be able to be alongside into the chicane.
No DRS, it's very difficult as well. The slipstream in this game is pretty weak, but the best of times. And the braking distance is much shorter, so you've got to really think you move in this game.
Yeah, you can't exactly be the last of the late breakers in the wet. You've got to leave a bit of margin, otherwise it can all go horribly wrong.
Ali Diaz got a comfortable 7-second lead. Sam's gained a little bit, but it's too much too late, especially with the penalties situation. But it should be good for a podium, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Ali Diaz just controlling it out front, as he has done for the opening couple of rounds. So, you know, if you're enjoying this race, guys, then please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel here. And, of course, you can head over to www.f1tshub.com to catch up on all the action and sign up yourself. And, of course, you can follow us on social media, on your Twitters and your Facebooks and what have you. So, yeah, get involved.
Yeah, I think we missed that news out a bit of that wing damage. The gap is gap's up to a second now, as Lawrence again is all over back of Buxter, but the straight line speed effect is just killing him, I think. He's got to try and think of a move where a move isn't possible.
Yeah, I think so. Will we see him go for something a bit adventurous as the laps tick down? But he seems to actually just lose out down the straight.
Yeah,
it seems like the Buxter perhaps running lower wing, or just gets a good exit when it's needed.
Yeah. Battle we've got the moment as the rest team pretty spread out at the back of the field. We've got Ali Diaz who's leading the race with a 7-second gap to Sam, and FNG in third with a 7-second gap again to Sam. Wummer in fourth, a second behind. Buxter fifth, 9 seconds behind. Lawrence sixth, 6/10 behind. Cloudy Balloon seventh, 13 behind. Chopper on his debut looking good for points in 8th place, 3.4 behind. Botdrill in 9th place, 9 seconds behind Chopper, and Gaza in the points again with Evan Ollie out the points with D90, Kingdom, Martin, Lemaine, Nick, Matty Daddy and Stifler all DNFing due to crashes. Yeah,
so only 12 runners remain, so you know, good shot of points for all the drivers still on circuit. And yeah, Kev and Gaza, you know, bringing up the rear of the points, playing positions at the moment. Can Kev pick up some points here?
It's looking unlikely. It's a 23-second gap, so unless someone ahead bins it, it's looking very unlikely.
Yeah, that's his only hope from here, I think.
Yeah, I think Kev would have been on for a 6th place finish if it wasn't for his contact with Matty Daddy. We still don't know how that happened, so it'd be interesting to see if you get the view later on in the post-race chat.
Yeah, we'll reserve judgment until afterwards. I mean, Kev was chasing and trying to find his way by, so you can only assume maybe perhaps an overtaking attempt went wrong somewhere, but yeah, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
I have to say, that mistake can cost him there, because he was ahead of Matty Daddy until that mistake, and he was ahead of Lawrence as well, so...
Yeah, what could have been.
Yeah. But the Mercedes team will be delighted with both the drivers in top, second and third, so again, the championship, it's looking better for them. And Sam had a clean race. Penalties may cost him a few places, but I think he'll be happy whatever happens.
Yeah, his pace has certainly jumped up, hasn't it, quite a bit.
Yeah,
it seems on the off-season he's worked quite hard.
He seems quicker now than he has in the wet. The gap's come down a little bit. I always notice in the wet he seems to do quite well. I think he got his only podium in the wet race in this league in Skidder Farm, so...
Yeah, well, yeah, he obviously likes these conditions.
Yeah. As Lawrence misses the chicane there, I think he's getting a bit frustrated behind Buxter. I don't see this move happening.
Yeah, I think he might be running out of ideas now if he drops because of that for a second behind.
This one was clocked to Matt again, so they're both lapping Kev, so one got involved with Kev blue flags there.
Yeah, and if, like, Wimmer hanging on there with the wing damage, you'd have to, imagine that without that wing damage again, he would have had the pace to be ahead of Matt on track. You would imagine. So another perhaps missed opportunity for him here, and he might well miss out on the podium again.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he had the pace to be with the front two. Just needs to keep better care of that wing because he hasn't had a race yet this season. So
yeah,
he's got. I think he's got the pace to challenge Ali Diaz. He just needs to keep it in the path.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It seems like McLaren perhaps need to, just build a slightly stronger front wing for him, just with a few extra supports there, just to help him along a little bit, and he'll be looking good for some race win.
Of course, McLaren are yet to win a race left on this up, so I think they've got a good chance of B-Stars tonight in the Pinnacle, the Prestige tier, but I think they're desperate for just one driver to win a race.
Yeah, it's surely only a matter of time, as you mentioned, with B-Stars and with Wimmer as well in the Pinnacle tier here. I'm sure a win will come for McLaren, probably several before the season's over.
But I think Wimmer, he might still get podium because Matt's got a few penalties, so I think this order might shake around a bit for the end of this race.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what sort of penalties, come about, and have any drivers managed to avoid penalties altogether as well. That'll be interesting to see at the end of the race.
I think season 9 here, I avoided penalties and it got me ahead of Nick. And I was fighting him in his last ever race, which was a very proud achievement for him.
So you managed to beat Nick in his final race.
Yeah, I was, me and him we were swapping lap times at the end. That was back when I had decent pace on F1 and it was such an enjoyable race. So that was a wet dry race, but it was the other way around on that day.
And you have to say the rain looks really heavy now as well.
Yeah, if I was, say, Kev, I'd be tempted to stick a set of 4 wets on. You've got nothing to lose. And if a few guys had been it, he'll bag up some points because only behind he's a lap down, so he's not going to lose a position because of it. So I'd be sticking the 4 wets on now.
Yeah, it definitely looks proper wet. But on this game, you can take the interest to almost monsoon levels of wet before you need to hit for the full wet.
That needs to result in F1 28. Matt and GMX a mistake about hairpin and Wimmer's got the inside on and he should get this move done.
He will have understeer, and he does understeer into the Mercedes slightly, and he'll have understeer out of turn 2 as well, which will delay in getting on the power.
Damage, I think, is affecting here with the understeer. It's the side-by-side in the hairpin, but Matt's got the line.
Oh,
that was his chance. There. That was his chance.
Yeah, the front wing damage, you can see he just had no grip through the death section at all.
He had the healthy front wing, at least. That's where you lose it come with the understeer, obviously, because it's front. So much for downfall, especially in the wet.
Yeah, definitely. So on the penultimate lap of the race, and he's still battling to try and get on that podium, as is Lawrence, who's closed back into 4th tenths behind the Bookster again.
Yeah, 14th to 6th, 7th. They're looking for decent points as well. They've had a messed start this season, so it's good to see.
Yeah, Wimmer right behind Matt as they exit the hairpin. He's okay on this section when he doesn't rely on the front downforce quite so much. But again, I don't think he's going to be close enough here into the chicane as Matt's the inside, then Matt's the outside. He's made his one move.
I'd be tempted to back off here and just get he's going to get a much better exit here because Matt's all over the curbs. But
not enough.
No, he's further back this lap, so as Matt defends the inside line, but he doesn't even need to. He's defending clean air there, to be honest with you.
So we're on the final lap of the race. Only 2 miles separates Ali Diaz and his 3rd victory in a row.
Halfway round lap now. Again, another commanding performance for him, and 75 points. This is an ideal start to his season. Rival Bookster struggling in 5th place. He's going to gain a load of points on him. And if this keeps up, lead him in the sale though.
Yeah, it will be. He's literally a perfect start to the season for the Williams driver. Carrying on the Williams tradition.
Yeah, winning races. And Wimmer, again, I think he's Ali Diaz comes down the back straight into the final chicane to take his 5th winning F1 tier sub, he's 3rd in a row, and he's 3rd this season. So it's going to be 75 points, a perfect start for Ali Diaz and the Williams team. Congratulations.
Yeah, amazing drive from him.
Yeah, Samster across the line 2nd. He's going to be his 2nd podium F1 tier sub. Boffigiolo wins at the last lap.
Yeah, well, that gives Kev the point that he was seeking. So Matt FNG holds on across the line, takes 3rd, and Wommer in 4th. Yeah, super close. And the Bookster brings it home in 5th.
Oh, 3rd. He got in penalties. Wow.
Wow, his podium streak will continue.
Somehow continues. It's great credit to Booksters. Lawrence finishes 6th, Cloudy Blues, and cross the line in 7th. Gonna finish at 8th, so strong debut.
Yeah, points for him.
Gazaman again, he's going to score points. So fair play to Gaza. He keeps it on the track when he needs to, and it's his 3rd consecutive points finish.
Yeah, good drive from Gaza, and with the DNF from Boffigiolo, will Kev get a point here?
No, it says Boffigiolo's 10th, but Kev's already finished, so maybe because Kev's a lap down. So maybe Boffigiolo keeps 10th place, because obviously he must have been on the penultimate lap, so
yeah,
it's very rare you get a point for DNFing, but he's lucky day for our driver. As Gaza, it's the last one across the line. He's running down as a result after the podium sequence.
Wow, well, the Bookster there to pull a podium out of that. And just avoiding the penalties. You mentioned it was crucial there, and he absolutely proved it for him, didn't it? And his streak continues. Yeah.
Sort of wish that happened more last season than me, because I was too far back to capitalise these sort of things.
yeah. You know,
it's not to say fair play though. He's struck. That's what they do in bad races. If you have a bad race, you've got a damage limitation. 3rd place, that's ideal damage limitation, really. And well done to Sam as well on his podium. I think he'd be delighted with that.
Yeah, well deserved for Sam as well. There, you know, he's had the pace this season, and he's delivered this time round.
Yeah. It is.
Right, do you want to take us through the final results, Jamie?
Yeah, Ali Diaz wins the race from Samster in 2nd, Bookster in 3rd, Matt FNG in 4th, Robert in 5th, Lawrence 6th, Lou in 7th, Chopper on his debut in 8th place, Gaza again, points, well done, Boffigiolo in 10th, even though he DNF'd, Kevin 11th, Carlos Sainz, I don't know who these Carlos Sainz, Ericsson, Verline, Vivian Stroll, they all DNF'd.
And we have to give a big shout out to the Bookster and to Gaza as well for avoiding any penalties. So that is amazing from both of those drivers.
Two very experienced drivers, and they wear the limit down this game. And I think Gaza again would be delighted with points. I've got to tip my hat off to him. He keeps it clean and he just gets them points.
Yeah, what can you say? He started right towards the back of the grid and finds his way in the points once again.
Yeah, you don't mind signing off.
So, yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. An absolutely fantastic Canadian Grand Prix there. The mix of tyre strategies really gave us a great race and plenty of overtaking and battles and a bit of rain as well. So that was round 3 of the Pinnacle tier done and dusted. So you're more than welcome to switch over to the Prestige tier race, which will be getting underway shortly. They're just in qualifying at the moment, I believe. And we will be back next week for round 4. So thank you very much, Jamie, and I'll see you next week.
I believe it's Singapore next week, which is a very entertaining track.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a favourite of mine, that one, and yeah, we're guaranteed plenty of incidents and good racing there, I think.
Long race as well, so we have to be.
We'll settle in with a cup of tea for that one.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and well done to everyone who finished and scored points. Good night.
Definitely. We'll see you next week.
Yep.